I will have tried our possible best to address some questions under the relevant course so that I'm pausing for a while on that questions. Then I'm going to capital budgeting. The reason why I'm going to capital budgeting is that the knowledge of relevant costs we are going to need them when we get to capital budgeting proper. So today we are going to look at what capital budgeting is all about. That's chapter 25 and chapter 26 and chapter 27. Those three chapters cover capital budgeting as a whole. So today, let's start from introduction to capital budgeting. Let's settle down, please. Introduction to capital budgeting. What is capital budgeting all about and the meaning? So I'm reading from page 761 of our item pack. As usual, we are going to look at those pack. We're going to discuss them line by line. We are going to practice on minor examples in the pack, and from there we go to our question and answer again on the topics on the capital budget. So, capital budget expenditure. What does that mean? Capital expenditure is spending on non-current assets. When you hear the word capital expenditure, it is the money that you spend on anything called non-current assets. Now, when I mention non-current assets, we are technically referring to both tangible and intangible assets. Are we together? When we say non-current assets, we have a property and equipment. We also have intangible assets. Both are what? Non-current assets. So anytime you spend money on non-current assets, we refer to them as a capital expenditure, such as, for example, building and equipment or investing in a new business. Sometimes when you invest in a new business, we also refer to them as well capital expenditure. As a result of capital expenditure, a new non-current asset appears in the statement of capital position, that is balance sheet, possibly as an investment in subsidiary. That is, when you invest in a new business, definitely, and you now group account, it become what? Investment in the subsidiary. If it's an asset that you acquire, then there will be an asset that will be reported in the financial statement. So the contract is revenue expenditure, which refer to expenditure that does not create long-term asset. No, normally from our financial account in those days, we try to differentiate between revenue expenditure and capital expenditure. Revenue expenditure are those expenditure that does not create long-term asset, like repair and maintenance, like electricity, like salaries and wages. They are all revenue expenditure. They don't create long-term asset, but capital expenditure will definitely create a long-term asset. So now, capital expenditure initiatives are often referred to as an investment project or capital project. I have a capital project. Then maybe you are involved in investing in building or in motor vehicle. That's what. So normally we refer to them as capital project. They can involve just a small amount of spending, but in many cases, large amount of expenditure are always involved. The capital expenditure, they don't always be a small amount. It's always be a large amount of money. So a decision might possibly be made between essential capital expenditure to the essential capital spending to replace worn out asset and maintaining operational capacity. Look at it. When we are talking about capital expenditure, you may want to replace your old asset. Hello. Let's assume you have a car and you observe that okay, this car is not working properly, and you can try to replace it, or you do a major repair on that car to bring them to normal functionality. That's what we call it. Another one is that discretionary capital expenditure or the new business initiatives that are intended to develop the business makes a suitable financial return on investment. Examination question usually focus on the discretionary capital expenditure. That is, expenditure that you have to invest in the new business line. When you are trying to invest in the business line, most cases that will need for you to buy a major asset. So all these things we are supposed to consider line by line capital expenditure. Now, investment appraisal. Let me say this: the moment you have made your mind to acquire capital expenditure, As an accountant, before you put in your money into such expenditure, you should try to appraise them. What do I say you should do? Try to appraise them. To test maybe the investment will be feasible, maybe the investment will be profitable. Let me use that language now. So that process to test maybe a project will be profitable, that's so that you can be able to accept that project called capital investment or appraisal. So investor appraisal, let's look at it now. Before capital expenditure project are undertaken, they should be assessed and what? And evaluated. As a general rule, as a what? General, please. When you are trying to appraise a capital project, general rule for you either to accept or to reject will be based on these two conditions. One, project should not be undertaken. Project should not be undertaken unless one, they are expected to provide a suitable financial return. When you are trying to embark on a project, any project should not be accepted if you do bring a suitable financial return. And number two, the investment risk is acceptable. Hello? A project can bring a suitable financial return, but the risk may not be what? May not be acceptable. Hello? Let's take for example now. You and your friend, you are traveling and you get to military checkpoint. And they say, just like you say, Ore, come down with this car, go and slap this army. I will give you 50,000 or cash or 100,000 cash. Now, does it have a return? Does it have a return? Yes. 100,000, somebody wants 100,000. That means is it small money? Not small money. It has even a suitable which business you will do within 2 minutes and get 100,000 cash as a return. I mean, it brings a suitable financial return. But the question how many is suitable? But the point is that can you accept the risk? That's it. That's why I'm going. The risk is that the risk involved is very well high. So a business or a project may be a suitable financial return, but if the risk is not acceptable, what do? We pull out. Most of us in this room, we invest in MM. I mean, if you don't do MM, don't be serious with life. You don't do anything. You did that. Now what am I saying this? So why don't you do MM?
At discovered that it's full of risk.
It's full of what? That's what I want to hear. It's full of risk. But the return makes sense. A month, 30%. Then close up. Don't worry now within a month. Which period you do? And you are making a return 30% return within that 30 days. The return is suitable, but sometimes the risk is what? Ẹlòmíì ṣe ó ṣe kí ni ó di àṣì àdé òdìdí àdé. So I'm saying you may for two conditions that want you to accept a project is number one, to bring the must be a suitable financial return, and number two, the risk must be what? Must be bearable or acceptable. Now let's go further now. Investment appraisal is the evaluation of proposed investment project involving capital expenditure. The purpose of investing appraisal is to make a decision about whether the capital expenditure is worthwhile. Is what? The reason why we need to appraise a project is for you to test this project that you want to embark on, is it worthwhile? That is it acceptable? And whether the investment project should be what? Should be undertaken. If the project is worthwhile, what do you advise? Please go ahead and do it. Now, capital budgeting. On a good day, let me read this first. Capital expenditure by a company to provide a long-term financial return, and spending should therefore be consistent with the company long-term financial objectives. You don't embark on a project in a particular year that is not in line with your long-term financial objective. I will tell you that please. Just wake up in January. You don't have a plan for that year to build house. And just get the middle of June. Or the Government Macaulay. So it must be in line with your presenters. Normally in a company, you don't embark on a project that is not your budget for that year. Let me see it as a nation. In Nigeria, the government will not spend money that is not within the what? The budget. Your ex, now what am I saying? Before you can embark on the capital budgeting, you must ensure that within your long-term financial objective for that period. Now, capital expenditure should therefore be made with the intention of implementing choosing business strategy and have been agreed by who? By the board of directors. I see now, you must have agreed, must have been your budget, and must have agreed by the board of directors where you can go ahead and work and embark capital budgeting. Don't forget, our target in this chapter is how to appraise your capital expenditure. But we can't talk about that one without forgetting to talk about what capital budget is all about. I will tell you now. Now, many companies have capital budget. And capital expenditure is undertaken within the agreed budget framework and capital spending limits. Hello? Budget framework and what? Capital spending limits. Hello? Every company always has a limit for their capital spending for a particular year. Even as Nigeria as a country, as a nation. Once they do their budget, they will tell you this capital expenditure. There's always a limit to it. And any attempt for them to go beyond that limit, they have to go back to drawing board and do supplementary budgets and pass send it to house again for another approval. Same those applicable to companies. You don't spend above beyond your capital budget limit for a particular period. Okay. Many companies have capital budget and capital expenditure is undertaken within the agreed project framework and capital spending limit. For example, a company might have a 5 years capital budgeting setting out a broad term in intended capital expenditure for the next 5 years. This budget should be reviewed and updated regularly, typically each year. When within the long-term capital budgeting, there should be more detailed spending plan for the next year or 2 years. What I say, when you have a plan for like 5 years, that 5 years plan should also be break down to 1 year, 2 years framework. Individual capital projects that are formally approved to be included within the budget. Any capital budget that is not approved by the board should not be within the budget. Number 2, new idea for capital project if they satisfy the investment appraisal criteria and are expected to provide a stable financial return might be approved provided that they are consistent with the capital budget and the overall spending. What I say is maybe throughout at the beginning of the year, you are bring out your budget for the year, and around June, you just conceive a new idea. Hello, that idea is not your budget at the beginning of the year. Okay, they now say that if that idea has passed the test of investor appraiser and it's going to be a stable financial return and it's going to the risk is acceptable, then it can be approved provided that that project will not exceed your capital budgeting limit. Maybe you are budget 10 million naira capital expenditure and adding that project to it, you will still not go beyond that your limit. Then you can see what? You can see acceptance share Nigeria for the year. Now what they are saying that column. So now investor appraisal and capital budget. Investor appraisal therefore take place within the framework of capital budget and strategic plan is involved before that is the process that you have to follow when you are trying to invest in order to appraise capital expenditure. Number 4, generating capital investment proposal. That is, if you want to appraise a project, the first is that you bring out our proposal. Generating capital investment proposal in line with the company strategic objective. A proposal that are in line with the company's strategy and objective. Number 2, forecasting relevant outflow related to the project. Let me say, for example, if we have a company and the objective of the company is that they want to have branch in all the local governments in those states. Hello, are you happy now? The objective is what? To have a branch in all what? Local government in the state. The first thing you have to do is that And if you now conceive an idea, oh, let's go and establish a branch in Itori local government. Say, I mean, it's very Itori area. The first thing is that what you do, you bring out a proposal. Because now your idea is in line with the company of data to have a branch. And that branch is part of the idea. So you bring out a proposal. Once you have done that, then you now go and forecast all the cash flows that relate to the implementation of that branch in Idori. Both the inflow and the outflow that relate to that branch. You bring out the projection. Once you have bring out the projection up, then you now evaluate the project. You need the cash flow for the purpose of evaluation. Am I to place? So once you have generated cash flows, the next thing that what you do, you evaluate. That evaluation happening investment appraisal. Now, after you have evaluated the project, the next is that after your evaluation, is the project worthwhile? If it's worthwhile, you now apply about implementing projects which satisfy the company criteria for deciding whether the project will earn a satisfactory return on investment. After you have evaluated, next is to assess if they are in line, they have satisfied the criteria that you want to use to evaluate. And number three, lastly, after you have implemented, will you go and sleep somewhere? No, what do? You monitor. You monitor. You monitor. Monitoring the performance of the investment project to ensure that they perform in line with the expectations and the process of investment appraisal method. So you generate your proposal in line with the objectives of the company. You forecast all the cash flow, inflow and outflow. Then what do? You evaluate. After what do you do next? You implement. After what do you do next? You monitor the performance of the program. So what are the characteristics of this investment project? Capital project or capital expenditure possess some characteristics that makes it so unique that you don't just go into it. You don't just what? Go into it. Look at it now. Many investment projects have the following characteristics. One, the project involve the purchase of an asset with an expected life of several years and involve the payment of a large sum of money at the beginning of the project. Return on investment consists largely a net income from additional profit over the cost of the project. Yeah, it's very unique sense that the project in most cases there will be need for you to acquire a very big asset, and this asset will require a huge sum of money that if care is not taken, you need to put money to it, and if it collapse, that will be the end of the business. I will say that. Number two, the asset might also have a disposal value, that is residual value at the end of its useful life. There's some assets when you buy them now, after 10 years that you have been using them, you can still be able to sell them at a particular value, which is called scrap value. And number three, a capital project might also need an investment in working capital. Working capital also involve an investment in cash. There are some projects, once you embark on them, you will need money on day-to-day basis to keep on running the happening working capital. The money that you use to run the business on a day-to-day basis, you find them as working capital, and it also involve cash. It's all cash. It's all cash. So all these things it makes capital project to very unique. Alternatively, a capital investment project might involve the purchase of another business or setting up a new business venture. This project involve an initial capital outlay and possibly some more capital investment. Financial return from the investment might be expected over a long period of time, perhaps indefinitely. Then, what are now the methods that we need use to appraise project? The method now. The method of the investment appraisal. That is, don't forget, our target is how to appraise the project. That's our target. So before you can be able to appraise, you should be able to tell us, or you should be able to understand the various methods that we have when you want to appraise the project. Now, there are 4 methods to evaluate a proposed capital expenditure project. Any or all of the method can be what? Can be used. But some methods are preferred over what? To the other. Some you can use any method to appraise a project, but some are more preferable to other methods because they provide a more accurate and meaningful assessment. Now, what are those methods? Number 1, we have accounting rate of return. What do I call it? It's called ARR. I think I doubt. Maybe there's anybody in this room that I've not heard this word before. ARR. I doubt it. I've not heard ARR before. Oh, Nigori, Bush. Number 2, pay back period. We pay back period. That's another method. And we have called net present value and what we call internal rate of return. So tell you that as far as PM is concerned, as far as what? These are the 4 methods that we use to appraise a project. When I say as far as PM is concerned, that means there are still other methods, but as far as this level is concerned, we are limited ourselves to this level. So now, each of these methods, we say you can use any of them. You can use any of them to appraise your project. But sometimes, the reason for your appraiser, the reason for your appraiser will determine the method that you should use. Now look at it now. Each method of appraiser consider a different financial aspect of the proposed capital project. Now, if your target is to look at financial accounting reasons, if you are looking for financial accounting reason that you are looking from accounting perspective, then you are going for what? ARR. You can see your manual. You can see that diagram. Financial reasons, financial accounting reason, you go for what? ARR. But if you are going for cash flow reason, cash flow, and you go to what? Pay back period. If you are looking for cash flow reason. But if you are looking for making an investment that will provide an adequate investment returns, then you go for this year, which is either NPV or IRR. But if you are looking for what is the value that the project will be added to the company, you go for what? NPV. If you are looking for what? A value that the project will be added back to the business, you go for what? NPV. But if you are looking for a suitable returns that the project will bring to the company, you go for what? IRR. So that there are various reasons, but not in most cases now they will simplify the method that they want you to work. ARR. As if I look from the financial accounting reason perspective, what okay for accounting, accounting perspective, you are looking for what profitability. Accounting is also a profit of the head. If I look for the accounting reason now, you go for ARR. If I look for cash flow, go for what? A company that is having people of liquidity. A company that does not have a people of liquidity, so the whole money, you go for what? Payback period. Accelerator. When it's my money coming back, payback period. You are looking for what? Cash flow. But if you are looking for additional to the company in terms of returns, then you are going for discounted. Either you come NPV or ARR. You want to look at okay, if I embark on this project, what is the value that this project will add to us? Go for what? NPV. But if I look for a stable return, and the project will bring it to us, what do you go for? Go for IRR. So we are going to look at the method one after the other. So the basis of making an business decision. I said earlier on that when you are about to make an business decision, 2 bases very, very important. Is the project brings a suitable financial return? Hello? Is the project brings a what? A suitable financial return, and is the risk acceptable? The risk of the project. Now let's write it down. Basis now. When deciding whether or not to make a capital investment, management must decide on the basis of for decision. You must know the basis for your decision. Decision to invest or not to invest will be made on financial reasons. In most cases, in what? Now let me not just something now. In most cases, your reason for a particular project is not always in financial reasons. There are some other reasons that you have to what you have to put in place. Am I communicating, please?
Yes, sir.
Am I talking?
Yes.
So, but in most cases, our first reason is what? Financial reason, then plus other factors. Now, although non-financial considerations could be what? Could be important as well. Am I talking, please? Am I communicating, please? So, when you are trying to make your decision, one of your bases can be financial reason. That's why you talk about does it bring a stream financial return. The other people also consider non-financial basis. Are we together, please? Now, there are different financial reasons that may be used to make a capital investment decision. Management will consider the following: one, the effect the investment will have on the accounting return on the capital employed as measured by financial accounting method. If so, they might use one accounting rate of it. I said earlier that when you are looking for financial accounting risk, what do you go for? Go for AIRR. Number two, the time it will take to recover the cash invested in a project. If so, what do you go for? Payback period. Number three, the expected investment return from the project. If so, they should use discounted cash flow method as the base condition. Discounted will consider both the size of expected return and the length of time before they are earned. There are two different types of using this analysis. We have what? Net present value and the IRR. So please, I think let's pick them one after the other now. We want to pick each of these methods: ARR, payback period, NPV, and IRR. So let's start from accounting rate of return. How do we calculate it? Then how do we make decision under accounting rate of return, ARR? Please don't forget, this method is coming from financial accounting reasons. It's coming from where? Financial accounting reasons. If you want to make a decision based on financial accounting, then you are going for ARR. That means all our information that will be used to make decision, you are going to base it on accounting perspective now. Any form of accounting perspective. Now look at it. Let me read it from the manual. Then we go for more detailed explanation. Decision rules for ARR method. The accounting rate of return from an investment project is the accounting profit is what? Usually before interest and what? Tax. That's our earnings before interest and what? And tax. That is your accounting profits before you remove interest and remove your what? Tax. Let me say for example now. If you are preparing account, profit loss account, trading account, you have revenue, like this. You have cost of sales, am I talking, please?
Yes.
Then you have what? Gross profit, right? Like this. Then you remove all your expenses, all your operating expenses, which automatically include depreciation, So you remove your admin expenses, you remove your distribution expenses, then you also remove your finance costs, So if you have like this, let me do like this, let me put this one now. Eléyìí là ń pè ní earnings before interest and tax, You now remove your interest, that's finance cost. You remove it, what do you get? You get profit before